a Pete Primeau fan.
Thank you for having me.
Your fans are like...
What an honor to be here, Pete. You're a legend. You're a rock star.
I'm a legend in my own mind, said my wife.
If I can do it, anybody can do it.
I'm Mr. Selling from the Heart. What's this guy, Larry Levine, going to teach me about selling from the heart?
You are one of the most generous and authentic people around, and I think that's why you and your show are so attractive to people.
Welcome to the Pete Primeau Show. It is episode 203, and we are with my friend and my boss, Mark Klingenberg, the national sales manager for Instant Comfort, and we are going to give you a sneak peek to the Vegas market regarding Instant Comfort. And I have to tell you guys something. All things sales with Mark Klingenberg. Let me pay the bills really quick, and then we will get to Mark, because Mark spent half of his career in retail and about half wholesale. So he is rarefied air. You guys have any questions about retail selling? Mark is your guy. Anyway, let me pay the bills. If you haven't bought my book, Sell a Million, what are you waiting for? 101 tips for furniture and mattress store owners to sell another $1 million or more this year. And I'd like to thank my friends at the Mattress Industry Network group for sponsoring the show. You guys have been there from the very beginning. If you are in the mattress industry, we want you in this group. It's 100% free. If you want to learn how to build, sell, market, and succeed in the mattress industry, this is a group for you. It doesn't matter if you own a retail store, if you own a manufacturing facility, if you're a VP of sales, if you're a sales pro who works retail. We want everybody in this group. Hit that QR code. Tell them I sent you. I try to get in there a couple times a week, time permitting. And one other thing, Chris, are you ready? My book, Miles and Miles of Retail Selling Greatness, How to Sell More Mattresses This Year, is coming soon. And will actually be a sponsor of the show. So one hand will pay the other one to be on the show. And by the way, my good friend, Mark Klingenberg, has a chapter in this book. And the reason he does, he's the only person I know in this industry who has sold at retail over 1,000 smart beds. So without a further ado, let's bring Mark on. Mark, how you doing today?
I'm great, Pete. Thanks for having me.
I cannot wait for this sneak peek. I got a little bit of it. I missed some of it, but I got a little bit of it. And I think the entire industry is going to take notice of what's going on. So I might chime in here and there, but I think you got a pretty good game plan for what you want to do.
Great. Well, first of all, again, it's great to be with you. Privilege to be on your show. Want to just share a little bit about smart bed sales, specifically Instant Comfort, what we brought to the table, and just kind of give you a backdrop before I get into some specific new developments and reveals prior to market. What sets us apart in adjustable support smart bedding is that just a couple of bullet points: 45 comfort settings on each side of the mattress. We offer flex heads in queens and kings, with the exception of the essential mattress. Queens and kings come in flex head, and of course, one of my favorite points to make about flex heads is that they are always sold with power base. So the power base attach rate on flex heads is 100%. We have a 25-year warranty. The Luxe and the Opulence, both versions, the Smooth and the Quilt, come with a 5-year at 100%, 20-year prorated warranty in these beds. And again, but the big claim to fame here is the tailored adjustability of each side. And that's what really fascinated me early on in my mattress selling career. I sold full line furniture. I specialized in selling mattresses. And then I came across the idea, this concept of being able to adjust each side of the bed so that no compromise need to be made. And I was very, very successful. Once I got comfortable with the demonstration on these beds, I was very, very successful over the years of selling. And that's not to say I didn't sell my share of, memory foam beds and spring beds of all types and latex. I did. And I had a great time doing it. But I had especially a special success with this personalized approach to your sleep surface. And one of the points I like to make a lot of times is that with 45 comfort settings on each side of the bed, I have more options in one mattress than a lot of sleep shops have with their entire floor. So basically you have an entire sleep shop of options in one bed. And then if you add the flex head to it, now you've got the articulation with the ability to raise the head on each side of the mattress. You can still raise and lower the feet on each side of the bed. So that's the backdrop. Instant Comfort, owned and operated by American National Manufacturing, that's been around for many, many years, since the 70s, actually. They launched their first smart bed in the 80s. We still show some of that. And there you go. There's a slide that hails back to that time frame. We used to have, and I think we still do in our showroom, there it is, the original dial with 10 comfort options on each side of the bed. So this is something that we've specialized in. We don't do other types of bedding. All we do is adjustable support mattresses, aka smart bed. So that being said, recently, I know that our R&D crew has been working behind the scenes on some brand new options to assist retailers. And quite frankly, some of these have come about because of requests that have come in over the years from retailers. We have specifically spent our time in the number one selling configuration in the smart bed market segment, which is single zone per side, dual chamber, single zone per side mattresses. Multi-zone mattresses are nothing new. I mean, they've been around for many, many years. I sold them. I sold, literally, of the 1,000 that I sold, I know I sold exactly 187 units of a multi-zone smart bed approach. And we've gotten requests for them over the years. And what has happened is our R&D team said, okay, we're going to take a new look at this and see if we can come up with a fresh approach to the multi-zone chamber bed. So very recently, it was announced that we will be introducing at market a 3-zone per side mattress with a separate lumbar support system. And the lumbar is extremely important, as you know, Pete. The vast majority of our mass, our body mass, is from our chest to our upper thighs, and the ability to be able to get support in your lower back and your hips area is extremely important. Okay, the challenge has been that in the past, with a tri-zone chamber, typically what has happened, what I sold, was basically the sleep surface was divided in thirds. You had a third foot, third lumbar, and then a third toward the head. And the issue here was that we found that everybody sleeps to the head of the bed, so that if you're diminutive in stature, for instance, I remember selling one to a lady who was 5'4", her husband was 6'6". The multi-zone chamber worked for him, but because she slept to the head of the bed, there was an issue in getting that lumbar support properly positioned for her. So we've taken that into consideration, and we have made the lumbar section a little bit larger in the sleep surface. So we have a larger section in the sleep surface for, like the chest and lumbar section. So if we could put up the first slide, which is the slide.
Hold on, Mark. Mark, yeah. You got a fan already. Marnie at Serenity Sleep Solutions in your home state of Michigan says, woohoo, I'm excited to check this out in Vegas.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Can I just say something really quick?
Yeah.
The reason this is so important, doesn't matter what study, whether it's 20 years ago, 30 years ago, or yesterday, all studies come back between 60 to 70% of all people are side sleepers. It's enormous. Mm-hmm. And for a side sleeper to sleep with their spine in correct alignment, two things have to happen. The shoulder has to drop and the hips have to drop to keep the spine straight. So bravo, and your attention to detail and enlarging that lumbar area is incredible. I know somebody who lives in Syracuse and also lives in Florida. It's this one and the same person who's going to be very happy.
Awesome. Wonderful.
You know who I'm talking about.
I do.
All right. I do.
Yes, sir. So on that note, Pete, yeah, so this is the updates for 2025 market, and that's what I'm dealing with in this show. We're going to go over some of the new developments that we will be revealing in our showroom at B930, B Building, Suite 930, at the Vegas market at the end of January. So we're very, very excited about this. But to your point, the brass ring for everybody in this industry is providing for this amalgamation, okay, of proper posture, support, and pressure relief.
Yeah.
Right. We're looking for that neutral posture. We're trying to provide, especially for side sleepers, in that shoulder pointer. We're trying to provide for pressure relief and full body support. So what's happening at market, and here's the big reveal, and I'm going to go over each one of these bullet points. Multi-zone adjustable firmness mattress with a separate lumbar support. We'll talk about that in a minute, even more. We are introducing an integrated pressure mapping mattress. So this mattress is going to be one of our models, but it's going to have built-in pressure mapping technology, which will illustrate for the customer, especially on a dynamic sleep surface like a smart bed, where we're able to adjust it. And the pressure mapping is color coded. So red obviously is going to be a pressure point shown in red, and it's going to phase into blue, which is pressure relief, so that as you're adjusting the bed, you can actually see the minimization of the pressure points in the pressure mapping system that will actually be shown on a Microsoft Surface tablet. Okay. So, and then finally, we've got pressure mapping as an accessory, and we'll talk about that in a minute as well. Let's go back to the Tri-Zone. Let's go to the Tri-Zone slide. There you go. So with this, illustrating exactly what you said, Pete, here she is sleeping on her side, right? And perfect. And you got to get a neutral posture, and you've got to take the pressure off the shoulders in particular, and the hips, right? But here's the deal. Everybody's built differently. Body types are across the board very, very differently. So what a smart bed allows you to do is to tailor that surface to your needs. That's why we call it the no compromise bed. I don't care if it's a single zone bed or a multi-zone bed, the ability to adjust it to your needs on your side and allow your significant other to do exactly the same. And I've said this many times on your show and when I'm training, my wife likes a setting that is far different than mine. I hate this. I hate the setting that she loves, but who cares? It does not matter. She's happy. I'm happy. I sleep at a 28. She sleeps at a 43. We're both happy. All right. And there you have it. There's the no compromise bed. And we do sleep on a king flex head. So you're going to have a larger lumbar section there that will allow people of various body types. I don't care if you're diminutive in height, if you're short-waisted, long-waisted, it will not matter. You're going to be able to get independent support in the lumbar section. And
I have a question.
Yep, go right ahead.
You're a very unusually built man, Mark Klingenberg.
I am.
You are a very tall man, and you have very short legs.
I do.
Did you lay down on this bed, and were the adjustments in the right place for you?
Yes, they would be in the right place for me because although I'm 6'4", okay, and yes, I am a big guy, all right. My height, most of my height is from my waist to the top of my head. My inseam is a 33 and a half. And I use this illustration a lot, as you know, in training. You know, I can't buy stuff off the rack. My guys, when I go to Men's Warehouse, my guys know me. Oh yeah, Klingenberg, and you know, he knows my size and what they need to do to make it fit me. And yes, actually the lumbar section, even in a third would fit me fine. The problem is when you get long-legged and you're short-waisted, and that moves your hips farther up the bed.
Right.
That's where you really start having a problem in the past. But because of the way this is designed, you're still going to be covered in being able to position those hips appropriately and get really good support in your lower back. So you're going to be able to see that at market. You're going to be able to change the zones. You're going to be able to adjust it. And without issue, you're going to be able to adjust both of the zones and tailor it. Now, here's a little coaching ahead of time because I've sold both single zone and multi-zone. Okay, what happens is it's going to take a little bit longer to demo because when you have a multi-zone bed, obviously you have two zones because even though you have three support zones, you have two control zones. You have the lumbar and then the head and foot adjust separately at the same time. So you're going to have to, when you actually demo the bed, you're going to have to adjust one and then the other and one and then the other until the customer feels that they're getting that proper mix of what we just discussed, which is pressure relief, proper support, and proper posture. Okay, but it's taking even a little bit finer tooth comb to this whole concept of smart bed technology and adjustable support mattresses. You're still going to get two remotes. They're going to be wired, and you will have full control over the mattress at all times, just like all of our beds. The air control unit will not run unless you run it. It does not go off in the middle of the night unless you make adjustments. Okay. And so I'm really excited. I'm really excited to demo this bed and have people come in and take a look at it. I think it's going to be a great addition to what we're already offering with our collection, the Instant Comfort collection, with the single zone per side, typically what you see. Oh, the other note is that these will be just like our UltraFlex chambers. They are going to be extremely flexible for articulation on power bases. They will be very pliable, so you get some really good immersion into the mattress. So I think it's going to bring a wonderful array of features and benefits, both to the dealer and to the end user.
Awesome.
So anything else, Pete, on Tri-Zone? I think I packed quite a bit in there.
I am very happy to see it because I've had a lot of owners and sales pros who've sold it in the past and were able to make hay with it with the retail customer. It's something that's important to the retail customer,
Right.
and I'm glad that we are able to offer it a new and improved version. I'd like to get some of the comments. You've had some stars of the industry. Gordon made a comment. So Gordon, thank you for being here. You are one of the special people in our industry. Season's greetings from Florida. This new mattress sounds fantastic. And that is from the ultimate mattress expert. I wish I knew half as much as Gordon knows.
Awesome.
And Jacksonville Bedding, I'm assuming, I shouldn't assume, it's either RJ or it's Tara, and they're both awesome. Happy Monday. Looking forward to this episode. Thank you, guys. That's a great retailer right there. Jacksonville Bedding. If you're not familiar with them, you got to get to know those guys and gals.
Awesome.
Because they are awesome people. So, what else you got for us? I saw a couple other things on there.
So we've got a lot coming down the pike for market. One of the requests that we've also had over the years is pressure mapping system to be able to illustrate to the customer what we're talking about on various sleep systems. When we talk about pressure relief, how do you illustrate that, right? Well, pressure mapping systems have been around for quite a while. Okay, so that again, that's nothing new either. But our folks have gone to work, and we are going to be rolling out for dealers to take a look at and take a test drive with two particular applications for the pressure mapping. And so we can go to the pressure map slide. So the pressure map tech, and then you see a really typical display down there about the pressure points that are really illustrated on either a tablet or a screen of what those pressure sensors detect. Okay, and it's really illustrative for the customer of everything that we talk about in sales, that we're trying to get them comfortable. One part about that is mitigating pressure points. And so there on the left, you see all those red splotches, okay? And then what you're able to do, especially with a dynamic sleep surface like Instant Comfort, you're able to mitigate those pressure points and see those red splotches diminish and turn more blue, okay? But we're not stopping there. And we will have at market one of our models, the Lux Smooth model, will have an integrated pressure mapping system inside the mattress, so that you'll be able to see pressure relief as the support is being adjusted inside of the mattress, which is really a powerful tool, quite honestly.
Yeah, that is amazing. Did I ever tell you my funny pressure mapping story?
No.
So 20 or 30 years ago, when it first came out, a customer with one leg jumped on the pressure mapping, and they printed out his pressure map, and the customer looks at it and he says, wow, this is really neat. He goes, there's only one problem. It shows that I have two legs. And of course, all the credibility was gone out the window. And so I was telling one of my VPs of sales a few years later, and she told me I was involved with that. We did not have the technology. The computer randomly picked one of 26 different maps to spit out. That was the first pressure relief mapping. It was not
Whoa.
what they said it was. So this actually works, Mark.
Yeah, this is live.
This is the real deal.
This is the real deal. We don't have loaded imagery in the system that will spit out what it thinks is close. So
Awesome.
this is and wow, that was quite a story. You've never told me that one. So
I did know.
yes. So yes, these are all live representations of what's going on the sleep surface as it's being picked up by the pressure mapping system. Okay, so we're going to have one mattress that has the system built into it, which is going to be obviously smart bed specific. As we adjust, you're going to be able to see the change in the pressure mapping itself. However, we have not stopped there. We are also, if we go on to the next slide, we are also going to have in Vegas a portable standalone pressure mapping system that can be placed on any mattress. Okay, it's going to be portable. It is also going to utilize a it's going to utilize a tablet, the Microsoft Surface tablet, and it can be placed on anything in your floor. So that is not necessarily going to be product specific. Obviously, it can again be used with one of our beds, but it could be used on other mattresses as well. So it's very utilitarian, obviously high tech, but it's another sales aid for the sales pro to be able to validate and show what is going on when you find the proper mix of pressure relief, support, and posture control. Okay.
I think you just made my sales book obsolete, brother. This is unbelievably great. Thank you.
Yeah. So we're very excited for obvious reasons to be able to roll out this technology. I will tell you that also in recent days, as I watch the sales come across, I'm very excited to see. In fact, I had somebody message me over the weekend. Hey, I just sold one of your high-end mattresses. I'm so excited. And then of course, we have a pretty strong spiff program for our mattresses as well. And then I saw him submit the spiff for that, which is great. But all I'm saying is that I'm seeing these flex heads, higher end bedding, these sales roll across the report, and I get really, really excited about that. Okay, and again, this is just another tool, another group of tools that we will be bringing to market for dealers' consideration, enabling them and helping them to expand the horizons. And the big deal for me, Pete, you know this. I want all retailers to be successful, and I love when I peruse Mattress Industry Network Facebook feed, and I read all of these suggestions. And I consider myself a student of lifelong learning always, and I'm learning. I'm picking up all these tips and great wisdom. It's just phenomenal. And one of the things having a really good smart bed technology on your floor, brings to the local dealer is it makes you a one-stop shop. It allows you to be able to say, listen, we're going to find the right bed for you today. I have a high level of confidence that we're going to be able to do that because we have what we consider to be the best in class in all technologies, including smart bed technology. Okay. And for some people, just saying that will pique their interest. And for others, just trying it out may be a new horizon for them. But the great thing too about utilizing smart bed technology is that it does no damage to the other technologies on your floor at all. In fact, it can help you qualify faster because you find out very quickly if you do a good demo on the bed what everybody prefers, and maybe they want to pivot to something else. You've heard me tell that story many, many times. They want to try something else, and because based on the readout on the remote what they prefer, if they want to try something else in foam or spring, you can pivot pretty quickly to something that is at least close enough in that level of support. So again, this is brand new for market. We've never done this before. We've never brought multi-zone. We've never brought pressure mapping, let alone integrated pressure mapping to market. And we're excited to have as many people as want to come see it as possible at B930.
So I want to go back to something because me and you driving around my territory and the frustration that we spoke of when people are using pressure mapping. So the very first bed that a customer is exposed to is a smart bed that is what they're being qualified on, and then they're not allowed to buy a smart bed on the retail floor.
Yes,
because the retailer doesn't have one as a choice. So this is actually like incredible because they can actually buy the bed. If they lay on a few beds after they lay on their pressure mapping system bed, they can go back to it and say, you know what? I want to buy this one.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the beauty
That's a game
of it.
changer.
It is. So you're going to be, if you want to use that as a qualifying tool, just to illustrate, you go through the demo, you find out what they like, you illustrate what happens with the pressure point mitigation, all of that on the bed. And I'm sure they may want to try some other mattresses, which is great. But if they want to come back to that bed and say, man, this felt the best for both of us. And what becomes very obvious in that whole process is if they have like my wife and I, very, very different preferences, right? So if you have very disparate preferences as to support and resulting comfort, many times the smart bed becomes the most obvious answer. And if you have a system that utilizes a pressurized air mattress to qualify them, and it gets them to a point of optimal comfort, but they can't buy it, that would be very, very frustrating for me as a consumer. Okay. So with this, you are able to qualify them on the bed, going through the whole, as you know, what I teach, you start firm, go softer, up or down from there until they discover something that works best for them. And you can then also illustrate pressure relief in the mattress. And they can purchase that bed sans the pressure mapping system, obviously. I doubt that they would want to go have that built in. I'm sure we could sell the whole thing to them. But if they want just the mattress, that particular bed, they certainly are able to do so.
Wow, that's incredible. Simon is with us all the way from England, or is it Ireland? Greetings from across the pond. Good to see you, Pete. Simon, it's good to see you. Thank you, my friend, for saying hi and wishing you the very best of holidays and a happy and prosperous and healthy new year, my friend. So Simon is a sales trainer who actually sells, and he is rarefied air. What a great talent. As a matter of fact, Mark, you and Simon, if you're not connected, should be connected.
Okay.
Just because you guys are just such great sales minds, and you would enjoy the camaraderie. So let's go a little deeper, Mark.
Sure.
I'm really, really super curious about this 3-zone. And before we do that, though, can you, for the benefits of like RJ or Tara or Marnie, who may not know the history of the company, just give us a brief history of the company, because it's a really storied history and one that we should be very proud of.
Yes. So American National, as you saw in that earlier slide, starting in the early 70s, started with waterbeds. Was very, very big in the waterbed industry. I love the story. It's a great American success story. Two brothers working out of a small facility, building it up, and it continued to grow and grow and grow. And then it began to transform, actually add pressurized air systems and pressurized air mattresses. And the first one, as you saw earlier, with the dial control, was introduced in the 80s. And thus we call our beds the original smart bed. And then it grew from consumer bedding into broadening into the medical space, and utilizing a lot of the same technology, helping patients to heal from either surgeries or illness faster, helping them to be prevented from getting bed sores. Just some amazing technology that had been developed over the years in pressurized air mattresses, specifically for patients. I actually walked a whole line of medical beds and was just stunned by the application of using air mattresses. And I have to say, Pete, you know that I've had a stint of surgeries in the last couple of years. Been a rough go for about 3 years. Had 3 surgeries and spent some time in hospital beds. And guess what I was placed on to help me heal faster?
No doubt.
An adjustable air support mattress. Okay. Even in my agony, I had to smile. Okay. Because here I am. And what was really amazing is, and I've said this many, many times, when I was able to go home and I laid down on my Instant Comfort, and I love 28. 28 is my setting, but when I was recovering and in a lot of pain, I couldn't sleep at 28. So I went through the same process that I train on to find a new comfort level for me while I was recovering, and I found that I needed it to be much softer than normal, which was really wild. But that helped enable me to get some rest. Now, I've had some of my customers tell me the same thing, that have been going through some very critical illnesses and surgery recoveries, that the ability to be able to adjust the bed, and sometimes one lady wrote me an email and said she was adjusting the bed every day because it depended on how she was feeling that day. Now, that's not typical, obviously. That's not typical. Generally, people find the setting they love and they set it and forget it. But the beauty is, if you need to adjust the bed again, something has changed, you're going through a physical illness, or like me, surgery recovery, or your weight loss, weight gain, any of that can affect it. And you're able at the touch of a button to be able to tailor the support level in the mattress to your preference and your need at that time. Okay. So the medical applications were absolutely amazing. And it was in the 2010s and following that American National introduced consumer bedding again. And we launched Instant Comfort during that time frame to make them available for dealers to be able to compete, just like we did in the North Dallas area, to compete in that space effectively, and give them the proper tools and training to be able to do so. So that kind of brings us up to speed. We in past years, for instance, our chambers were typically the cotton rubber chambers, which very durable. I sleep on them today. Honestly, I sleep on the cotton rubber chambers. They are fine. They work well. But we've upgraded our chamber systems to our Ultraflex chambers, which is a nylon bonded urethane that provides for tremendous flexibility and pliability, which is just as important. A lot of people don't understand this, that pliability in those sleep surfaces is really critical to allow for proper immersion in the bed as you adjust it. So we've upgraded our chambers. We've vastly upgraded our pump systems. I remember back in my day when I was selling these adjustable support mattresses, my air control unit had a blower in it that sounded like a dustbuster underneath the mattress. Okay, it was loud. I don't care what you did, it was loud. Now again, it only ran when you ran it. It did its job. It adjusted both sides. But when you ran it, you knew it. Okay, we've come a long way from that with these dual diaphragm motors. Hum when you operate them. Very powerful units. I remember the unit I used to have. It was very, very large. The units that we use now are much smaller, take up a lot less space. We didn't have things like kink and pinch resistant air hoses that we include with all of our Instant Comforts, which is very, very important when you're deploying these air hoses, and you're running them around like a headboard or whatever. You want them to stay kink and pinch free, and we include that in all of our beds. You also have quick release air valves with every Instant Comfort, which is a beautiful thing, because back in my day, we didn't have that. You had to attach the hose, you had to push it onto a receptacle on the air control unit, and then you had to use a clamp to keep it airtight. Those days are gone. And if you disconnected it, you had to put a plastic plug in the end of the hose. Those days are gone. When you disconnect an Instant Comfort mattress from the hoses from the air control unit, they seal automatically. So it will retain air. If you ever need to deflate it further, you certainly can, but it will not deflate on its own. We have the Loctite Edge support system, which keeps the chambers exactly where they need to be. So you're not going to have any drift inside the bed. And one of my favorites of all time, this from having heard me talk about it all the time. And there you go. There's the Ultraflex air chambers. Thank you so much. They're so pliable and bendable, and that's absolutely critical for usage with power bases. We still utilize top zippered covers, and our top zippers allows anybody to open them up. And we encourage RSAs, we encourage sales pros, managers to do that from time to time. If somebody's really interested in how the bed is constructed, how it operates, you're actually able to zip it open, lift the hood, and because there you go, there's in the in the quilted top panel of our beds. You can actually flip them over. In the Opulence and the Luxe, there is cooling technology on one side, non-cooling, aka warmer, on the other. And you can literally flip these things over and zip them right on. That also means if any modular component in the bed needs to be replaced, you can do so. And it's not rocket science to be able to do that. So many great features that we've built into these beds over the years, and you just keep seeing the advancements happen over and over again. We're now able to use apps to be able to control the mattress, and our app also syncs with a number of power base manufacturers as well. So you're able to control both the power bases and the mattresses with one app if somebody wants to be able to do that, both iOS or Android. And I have the app loaded on my bed, so I'm able to do that if I want to. Most of the times I still reach for the remotes if I decide that I want to adjust it, but I have the app. And that's an important thing for customers as well, because there's the whole phenomenon, oh, there's an app for that. And we have an app that allows you to wirelessly adjust the mattress. And if you have a compatible power base, you can do the same thing through the app. So we've come a long, long way in smart bed development.
So I'm glad you touched on the modular aspect. That's why we call it a forever bed, right?
Yes. So one of the things I used to tell people is that if you like the bed, it could be the last bed you'll ever buy, because you have 45 comfort settings on each side of the bed, number one. So most of the time, somewhere between 50 and 5, you're still going to be able to find a setting that works for you. And I've had clients tell me that in the past, that, as they age or they go through different stages of life, that they've still been able, utilizing the same process that I train on, they have still been able to find a setting that works for them. Okay, so you have those 45 comfort settings, obviously with the articulation, but beyond that, if something needs to be repaired, replaced, or refreshed over the life of the bed, everything in there, everything in that mattress is accessible and can be replaced. We've had people that, for instance, didn't use a moisture impervious mattress protector as they should. And I know all retailers that may be watching this are all over that. And for good reason. It's really important to put a moisture impervious protector over any sleep system. And let's say they had it in the wash or whatever, and there was a customer that did not have it on the bed, and they had a spill in the mattress, and it went to the cover. They did take the cover off and had it spot cleaned, and most of it came out, but it didn't completely get it out of the cover, and it drove them crazy. Okay, they just did not like it. They were able, this is not covered under warranty, this is totally on them, but they were able to buy a brand new top panel. And here's the incredible thing, Pete, it zipped right back on, because these modules are interchangeable. On our zipper systems, we know exactly how many teeth are in the zipper systems and where they should fall for every component in the bed. That's incredible. Okay. I remember our first meeting with reps in one of our facilities, and our owner, Craig Miller, was illustrating that to one of the reps, and his eyes just got big as saucers. He was like, I have never seen anything like this before. To have that precision of sewing and zipper systems built into anything is absolutely amazing. So side panels, bottom panels, top panels, chambers, foams, all of it's accessible all of it can be repaired, replaced, or refreshed for as long as you choose to own the mattress, which is kind of mind melting for people when they're thinking of a 25-year warranty, and even being able to, swap things out over 25 years later would be incredible. And I know that goes against the grain of our industry, where we're trained to talk about, hey, you should refresh, every 7 to 8 years. You should take a look at your mattress. You should, if you're having issues, you definitely want to think about replacing it. But that also brings a tremendous value statement to the customer when they're investing money in a premium sleep system. Okay, that, hey, spread out over that many years, and I may not have to address that in my lifetime. Uh, that is an incredible value proposition. Okay, so modular sleep systems, yes, a tremendous feature and benefit for the customer.
So I have to ask this question. I am so interested in this 3-zone. What were the challenges and designing this thing? And thank the good Lord we have Craig Miller, right? Because he's been doing this for so long and he's so good at it. Did you guys just kind of go back to the drawing board and then say what was created before and what were the positives and what were the shortcomings, and then go from there? Kind of walk me through that process.
Well, obviously, when you're going from a single zone where the hose, the single zone, the single hose on each side exits directly out of the head of the bed, transits down to the air control unit below. Okay, you have two connecting points from the air control unit. Obviously, one of the big things is now you have multiple connections that need to be made, right? So the head and the foot inside the mattress, the head and the foot connect together at a wide joint, and then those hoses exit out, and then there's a separate connection and hose for the lumbar section that exits out of the head of the bed. So now you need an air control unit that has literally 4 connecting points for these hoses, these 2 hoses that exit out at each side of the mattress, right? So that's significant.
Yeah.
As far as developing that kind of system. And then again, you need the remote to be able to do that. That allows you to control each zone at the top touch of a button, calibrated to our millimeters of mercury pressure measurements on each side of the bed. And there was a lot of development. And then I already talked to you about this, how large should the lumbar section be. You can't make it too narrow because you're going to run into issues with body types, so you need to expand that. So it's kind of a tailored approach to the tri-zone chambers. Now, beyond that, okay, you still have the Loctite edge support system. You still have the same zippered covers, okay? Everything still is modular in the bed. So all of that technology translates. But as far as the chambers themselves, the hoses, the connections, the air control unit, and the remote, the user interface are far different. So all of that had to be developed for this to be able to come to fruition.
I have to ask the question. My mind's just begging me to ask. How long did this take from the moment you guys said, all right, we should do this, till it was actually like done? You had a prototype, you tested it, and it was, the right way.
I knew they had been working on stuff on the R&D side for a long time. And I know that Craig in particular is very careful of testing, quality testing over time, each stage. It's gotta get past one hurdle before they go on to the next. It's very systematic in development. I can't tell you specifically how long it took. I just know that they've been working on something for quite a while, and it wasn't until this fall, honestly, that they were ready to kind of let the cat out of the bag and say, "Hey, we're very close to being able to reveal this, and we are actually we want to show it at market," which got my wheels turning. I was very excited at that point, and because I could see the possibilities as well as just another tool and tool bag for dealers to be able to consider and utilize. So here we are.
One of the things that I think is super fun is Craig's sons are involved in the business, and the energy that they bring and the innovation that they bring. It's just like, I walk into the space and it's just like the energy, it just feels like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
I think we really have the best of both worlds. We have the experience of Craig and his engineering mind, and then we have this youthful energy in our company that wants to grow and expand and offer new um, uh, new solutions for our dealers that they've been asking for really quite a while. So I'm super happy to see this. Is there anything we didn't cover that we should have covered?
No, I would just like to add, I mean, it's been great working with Jack and Colin Miller, and they both bring fresh perspective and tremendous expertise in the areas of focus that they have within the company. And they will both be at market. Okay. Both of them will be in the showroom, and I'm excited to see them there and work with them again. Um, Nothing else really except to say again, Pete, that the smart bed market is a significant portion of the overall mattress uh, industry, and I just think it's important to be able for retailers to be able to sweep some of that multi-billion-dollar business that's coming out of their trade area. Back in the day, we would, try to sell around or against it. But now with all of the tools that are available out there for a quality retailer to offer a really good smart bed product, why not go after it? Just go after it.
Yeah, and there's some really, really pricey smart beds in the market that are getting a little bit of traction. And these fit right in with those so nicely. It's almost ridiculous. But, when Mark says significant amount of volume, ladies and gentlemen, it's not 10% or 5%. It's right around 20%, anywhere from 20-ish to up to 25% of the total market is done in smart beds. So stop thinking that you're selling around it, you're selling against it. Just join it and have it. And what will happen is you will become the place to buy a mattress in your community, because you don't have almost all the technologies. You have all the technologies. And so that conversation with the retail customer about best in class, we have best in class in hybrid, best in class in memory foam, best in class in latex, and best in class in smart beds, can be had with a customer, and it separates you from your competitors who do not offer all of these solutions. So it's a great way to separate yourself and to become the one and only and best resource in your community. When customers want to wake up happy and pain-free, it's time to get a new mattress system. They think of you first. Sorry, I went up on a soapbox, brother.
That's all right. It's good stuff. Rising tide lifts all boats.
You bet. Mark, somebody that watched this and wants to get a hold of you, how do they get a hold of you? What's the best way?
Hey, you can email me at mark@instantcomfort.com. That's Mark with a K at instantcomfort.com.
Awesome. Mark, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your contributions to my new book. And I cannot wait to see these new products in Vegas. It's going to be a game changer, brother.
It's exciting.
Yeah,
It is.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
everybody.
Pete.
Thank you for being here. I really appreciate Gordon, RJ, and Marnie for stopping in and saying hi. Simon as well. And everybody, go forward, have fun, and sell 1 million this week. Thank you.